Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is G. Cole, and welcome to Homegrown, where I get to share with you some good music while talking to some great people. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do, so we can keep you updated when new material is available. We will be posting new episodes bi-weekly. Also, check out the website Homegrown with G. Cole to listen and for all things homegrown. We're also very, very interactive. Please follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook at MyGCole. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to be a great evening. You know, like I said, I'm a kid in a candy store. I love having the conversations with the legends. I learn so much. I have a blast. You know, it's just a ton of fun. All right. Again, share the link, share the info. We got a lot coming your way. Today we're talking with another one of the legendary vocalists who's worked with all the greats and have in fact blessed us with his own great catalog. And I want to welcome to Homegrown with G. Cole, Mr. Winston Francis.
Thank you so much, man.
The pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine.
Thank you so much. So nice to be here with you.
It's a joy, and of course, like I mentioned, you've got a lovely catalog. So we're gonna talk music,
right on,
legacy, music again,
right,
the culture and so forth. And what I want to do right now is actually, before we even get into that, I'm gonna drop one of your songs for the masses, just so we can warm them up.
Okay,
get them in the mix, get them ready for the vibe.
Right on,
ladies and gentlemen. This one is called "I Call It Love."
I look at you, you look at me. You tell me you ain't feeling butterflies. It's obvious, there's some chemistry. I know it feels so right. Girl, I wanted so long to know. Now you're telling me you gotta let it go. Tell me I have to start all over again. I never thought this day would come. This is something that I wanted in my life. I realized that you're the one. So it shouldn't be so easy to walk away. Let's not pretend. Baby, I know what love
comes from the compilation Massive R&B Hits in Reggae.
I just know what I'm feeling, and it's all because of you. Don't tell me I don't know, I want the truth. 'Cause they call it, we call it, you call it, I call it love. It's so clear for you to see. Don't let nobody tell you what to do. Why they can't just let us be happy? No. If you know what's really in your heart, then don't let them tear us apart.
If you don't have it, make sure you go ahead and add this one to your collection. It's a dope tune. Winston, I like that tune. There.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Tune there.
And funny enough, it was produced by my son.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Lee Francis.
Speaking of which, we were just talking about the Tessan one.
Right.
This is the same. It was on a Massive R&B Hits too, right?
That's it. That was his album.
Okay. That was his album,
right.
Then we got to get him in the studio one of these days. We got to talk music. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's doing his thing. The thing that I really, really, really like about how you do what you do, right, is you're tenured in this business. I love it that, when I listen to your earlier work, the Studio One classics and all those things, they have that classic vintage reggae sound, unbashed, unmistakable. And when I listen to your newer material, it sounds like newer material that's done by a legend.
Right.
And that tells me that you're in tune with what's going on while staying true to your legacy.
Right on.
So that's something I really dig. How important, and I say this because I have these conversations off air a lot of times with some of the vets, how important is it for our veterans, our legends, to master the art of evolution without dissolution, is what I want to call it.
Okay, well, my story is you're as good as your last song.
I love that.
So if you stay in the past, you will remain in the past. So you got to step forward and do new material and keep up with the time, because remember, people are dying and people are being born every day.
Yes.
So if you're going to stay in the past, you'll never move forward.
Right.
So you have to record new stuff.
Right.
And don't forget that if you don't write a new song, somebody's not going to come behind you and record that song.
That is true.
So you got to keep writing.
Right.
And getting new stuff. And evolution, every day something different is happening. So if you're not in tune with it, hey, man.
Right.
You're outside.
You're not evolving, you'll dissolve.
No way.
I love it. Because I dig that, because like you mentioned, you got to keep going. And I always feel like there's a fear amongst our artists that have experienced success.
Right.
In that if I keep doing this and it's not up to the level of the others, in other words, they're afraid to miss.
Right.
It's a hit or miss sometimes.
Right.
And they're very, very afraid to miss. Yeah.
But sometimes it's not just missing. You hit the goalpost, and that's almost good enough.
Right.
So if you hit the goalpost, you're almost there.
Right. I love it. Now let's reminisce a little bit. You're born in Kingston.
Right.
All right. And I
can I elaborate on that?
Yes.
A lot of where I live in the UK, and a lot of people that you meet, every second person that you meet, you say, "Where are you from?" They say, "I'm from Kingston." Right.
I'm sorry, I had to put a lighter on for that one.
But I can show you my passport. I was born at 100 King Street in Kingston, and where I was born, you can actually see the clock. Paris church clock.
So you're legitimate.
So I am a true Kingstonian. But I love country. I'm a countryman at heart.
I love it.
And earlier on, you said about Ocho Rios. My wife can tell you that we spent some lovely times in Ocho Rios.
Right.
Way back in 1975. I don't think you were born yet.
I was 3 years after, you know what I mean? Afterthought, but I was on my way.
But, I told her about Ocho Rios and how beautiful Ocho Rios is.
It is.
And before that, I spent a lot of time in Ocho Rios at the Tower Arts Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
I worked there singing and playing in a band.
Wow.
With a guy called Trevor Lopez.
Wow.
A guitarist. We spent so much time there. And it was a part of my legacy. I just loved being there. So after I moved to the UK and I got married and brought my wife back, I told her so much about Ocho Rios and was over main places. So, hey, man, I got you in the mix.
That's my home. That's home, baby. I love this because every time I talk to whom I would deem great vocalists, right? And I love to trace the roots. That's what I do.
Right.
And it always trickled back down to, I guess, what I would deem the cabaret circuit or the hotel circuit.
Right.
Traveling from the hotels on the North Coast down to the Grill or so forth, Tower Owls, San Susie, Mallard's Beach, all those places. It seems like, when I talk to the Third World, A.J. Brown, Richie Stevens.
A.J. Brown, man. What a singer, man.
He was here the other day.
You're kidding me, man. Yeah. Tell him, please. I need his last record, the cover that he done for Luther.
Oh, okay. Is that what he performed? No, he didn't. He performed here.
Man, man. I love the dude so bad.
Oh,
man.
He's got pipes.
And I played this record for my son, and my son, I gotta produce him.
Oh, yeah. AJ's
awesome
doing his thing.
Singer, man.
Doing his thing. Happy belated birthday, by the way. He just had a birthday celebration this past Saturday.
Happy birthday, AJ. Bless you, my man. Bless you, man.
But you are so right, though, when you say 99. Sometimes when you talk to Jamaicans that don't live in Jamaica anymore, you would swear there's like 3 people that live outside of Kingston, right? Everybody else,
everybody's born in Kingston,
from Kingston.
Right? Yeah.
And if you talk to them long enough, you're like, we're in Kingston, Maypen. Kingston, nonetheless. But it is what it is.
Yeah, man. You can't fight them.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Now I've got the picture from most of the legends I sit down and talk to about the 70s in Jamaica, the 80s. I can even vouch some of that myself because I was a part of that.
Right.
And, you know, in the 90s and stuff like that. You know, talk to me a little bit about, because I don't ever get to hear the stories about the 50s, the 60s, when the climate was a little different. To me, it was the creative climate, when the nation was kind of finding its identity versus later on when it was political upheavals and all those things.
Well,
what was life like growing up?
I love to talk about it, and I'll tell you the reason why I love to talk about it. When I was growing up, it was a love time. Like, if I bought a cigarette, we had 4 Aces, a Cravenet, and if you could afford to buy one cigarette, you had to share it with 6 or 10 guys.
Wow.
Now, it was such a pleasure
Yeah.
that when you lit the cigarette, and your friend would say, give me a draw.
Yeah.
And I give you a draw from that cigarette, and another guy standing beside says, give me a draw now. And by the time it comes back around to you, it's just the butt, right?
Right.
And the guy who was standing beside you, you say, give me a draw. You say, you smoke OPB? And
What's
you
that?
say, what's that? And he say, other people's butt. But you know, but it was such a joy, you know, sharing, you know, and loving, you know. A lot of people ask me, what was it like in the studios? And what about the legend Delroy Wilson? How did you? I said, he was just another damn guy.
Just waiting for his shot.
He was just like me.
Wow.
You know, if you call Delroy and say, Delroy, you know, come help me sing this song, he'd be ready.
Right.
And if they call me, I'd be ready.
Right.
Today, it's completely different.
Yeah.
If I say to you, G-Cole, come sing some harmony with me, you say, oh, you got to sign this contract with me.
It's gonna cost you.
Yeah.
And I ain't even that good. But that's a whole
At that
different
time, man, at that time, everybody was everybody's buddy and friend.
Yeah.
You know, if you had a bicycle, right? And I used to live in Walden Park, right? And if I had a bicycle and I was riding through Trenchtown, going through Maxwell Avenue, going to Walton Park Road, I had to have 3 guys on my bicycle, man.
Right.
You had to give everybody a lift home.
Better get that tour.
Yes. You know, and you
Love
feel
it.
so good, man, because we're all buddies. We leave from Coxsone Studio, go up to Bruce's patty and buy 2 patties. When I come down, I have broke it in 9 pieces.
Wow.
Because everybody must get...
Yeah, everybody forget that taste.
Yes.
And you do it wholeheartedly and willingly.
Hey, man.
It's the norm.
You know,
That's a different time, though. Like you said,
it
that
don't
was a
happen
love
now,
time.
man. It don't happen now.
Brotherly love.
You know,
Yeah.
when there was a stage show, everybody was packed up backstage, man. All the artists is backed up backstage. And if you had one spliff, everybody had a draw.
Everybody get that draw.
Everybody have a draw,
Man.
right? Today, I do shows all over the world, right? And everybody's got their separate dressing room with your name on it.
Wow.
You know? And I'm saying, what kind of bull is this? You know, you read.
They went Hollywood on you.
You know, you read the flyer and you say, G. Cole, this Gregory Isaacs, you know, AJ Brown, this and that. And I say, oh man, AJ Brown gonna be on the show? It's great, I'm gonna see him. You never see him because he's locked up in his dressing room.
With his people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different... Yeah, that synergy's not there anymore.
It's a load of crap. You know, I want to see my fellow artists, man.
I dig it.
I want to hang with them. You know.
Yeah.
I want to share something with them.
Yeah.
Even a glass of milk. You know. But that don't happen no more, man.
Nah, not without a contract.
You better believe it.
Sign this paperwork
Yeah,
right
man.
here.
If you want to talk to me, you got to sign a bit of paper.
Have your people call my people.
Yeah.
Don't make eye contact with the
No
celebrity.
way, man.
Oh Lord,
Crazy.
Crazy. We got to get out of that. we definitely got to get out of that.
If you can make a change, bro, I'll be so happy, man. Believe me.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. You know, we'll see how it goes, but I'm definitely working on it. That is something that we definitely have to have the legends impart. And I think half of the problem sometimes too is that gap in communication.
Yeah.
You know, there's nobody passing on.
No,
you know,
nobody's willing to give.
Nah. And then sometimes we'll say, well, they're not willing to listen, but try talking first and see if they will.
Of course,
You know what I mean?
You got to open some kind of dialogue before you know where we're going.
Gotcha. Ladies and gentlemen, chopping it up right here with the legend, Mr. Winston Francis. I'm going to get him something else.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Get them a little familiar, warm them up. Ladies and gentlemen, this one is called I Shall Be Released. Keep it moving, keep it grooving. It is Homegrown. What's up, Hope? Welcome to the party. I got you, Donald.
They say everything can be replaced. They say every distance is so near. But I remember everything of every man who put me here. I see the light come shining from the west down to the east. From the west down to the east.
Big tune, big tune.
Any day now, anyway now, I shall be released. They say every man needs protection. They say that every man was born. But I swear I see my reflection somewhere so high above the walls. Whoa, 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 whoa. I see the light come shine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. From the west down to from the west down.
Hop onto your digital platforms and grab this.
Any day now, anyway now.
The Jetstar release.
I shall be released. Yeah, yeah. Any day now, anyway now, I shall be released.
I love that song.
Thank you, man.
Nice
Thank you.
tune.
Thank
Nice
you. Thank you.
tune.
Thanks.
How did you actually get into this music? When did you decide that, this is what I want to do?
Well, in Jamaica, there was no TV. There was hardly any radio. There was a thing we used to have called rediffusion. You wouldn't know about rediffusion.
Radio Jamaica, Rediffusion.
Okay. Now, rediffusion was just a little box.
Oh, the little
one control.
Oh, yeah. I heard
Right.
about that one. That was before me.
And when you get this little box in your rediffusion, you never turn it off. You just leave it running.
Right.
When the station closes down, you're
Right.
and when it comes back on, this
Right.
is RGR, Radio Jamaica,
Right.
rediffusion, and it plays until it's again. Okay, so there was no form of entertainment, right, unless it was radio, RGR. And there was only one radio station in Jamaica.
Right.
And that was RGR.
Right.
Right. JBC came along like maybe 15, 20 years later. Right. So for entertainment, you had a guy who used to put on stage shows. And he had a lot of competitions. Right. And his name was Veer Johns.
Right.
And he was a great entrepreneur.
Right.
And putting on these stage shows, he gave us, he had, so many different parts of the competition. You had the semifinals, you had semi-semifinals, semi-demi-finals, and he would
Right.
kill you with semis and demis and
Right.
until that was stretchy for the whole year.
Right.
And every time you won, you would get a guinea, £1, 1 shilling.
Right.
Right? Now, if there were certain guys in Jamaica then, in Kingston then, who were, if you had to come up against them, forget it.
Right.
Don't you go to the theater and rehearse to sing in the competition because
Right.
this guy's coming up. You had guys like Jimmy Tucker,
Yeah.
Wayne Francis, I think it was, quite a few.
Right.
Lascelles Perkins, Alton Ellis.
You hear the name I know and love.
You know, at that time used to be the Flames.
Right.
Alton and the Flames. Or Tenz Ellis. Right. Now, she was a singer.
Right.
Now, when these guys are coming up into the competition, forget it. Don't you try.
Right.
Right. So every Tuesday night at the Palace Theatre, or it was the Majestic, you know, in near Greenwich Farm, Queens,
Right.
you know, on the Spanish Town Road. So the competition was moving all over Kingston. Now, every time there was going to be a show, you would see the patrons standing up outside, and everybody had a brown paper bag.
Why?
Right. They had rotten tomatoes and rotten eggs. Now, if they didn't like you, man,
It was going to be on.
you're going to be smelling sweet that night. You understand? So it was, you had to be groomed to enter these competitions.
Right.
And you had to sing like hell. Right. So that's where I started.
So you came up the real trenches.
I came through the ranks.
Wow.
Right. So then after that, you had the music era, because before that, the sound system guys, they used to come to America and buy the R&B tracks. You know, Fats Waller, you know, Roscoe Gordon, you know, and whenever they took the records back to Jamaica to play on the sound system, they'll scratch out the name of the records. So you, as another DJ, you come and you listen to the record playing,
but you don't know.
You go in, you have a peep to see, but you can't see nothing because all you see is white records. But these DJs, they were geniuses,
Right.
Because they would have a box of 200 records, and they knew each individual record.
Even with the name blacked out.
They would know the vinyl.
Wow.
So because if you say to him, play Professor Longear, he just go in the box and go like that and take it out and put it on.
And you wouldn't be able to find it.
Even with the name on. Right? But these guys knew their trade so much
Right.
that they would do this. You know? So when they started, playing the sound systems, and then records start being made. The first Jamaican record I heard, and I was going to school then, and we used to go onto East Queen Street, and we used to punch jukeboxes, and a shilling would give you like 10 plays. Right. But what we used to do is, at that time, a shilling would be 12 pence.
Right.
Or 12 half pennies, which was a halfpenny. Right? There was 24 halfpennies in a shilling.
Right.
So what we used to do is try and change a shilling into 24 halfpennies, and you get a hammer and you beat the middle of the halfpenny, and it would expand it. So when you drop the halfpenny into the jukebox, it would be a shilling.
Some serious innovative money laundering.
Yes.
Wow.
You can't afford it. But we were going to school, man. You can't afford a shilling. So you get halfpennies and play.
Right.
But if the proprietor caught you, man,
it was going to be on.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yep.
So, and then the first Jamaican record I heard, because I couldn't believe that a record, would be from Jamaica, and it would be playing a Jamaican guy.
Right.
And that was Laura Lakin playing Baba Kill My Goat. Right. And when I gotta
get that.
When I heard this record being played on the jukebox, I used to play 12 times, man.
Right.
And
they got a lot of your money.
You better believe it. But I would, you just couldn't, you can't conceive that it's a Jamaican.
That's
from Jamaica.
That's coming through the jukebox.
Coming through them speakers in the jukebox.
Yeah.
And that's all I wanted to do, man.
Let's listen to music.
That's all I wanted to do. Just I wanted to sing. I wanted my voice to be coming through
that jukebox too.
You understand? So
I love it.
This was my ambition.
Right.
So when I had the opportunity to start singing with bands, and the first band I actually sang with was Carlos Malcolm Afro-Jamaica Rhythms. And I had the opportunity to sing. So I joined Carlos' band. And at the time I had a group called the Sheridans. But we weren't recording. All we were doing is live stage shows.
Gotcha.
And one of the guys that we took on board, because we entered a competition called A Star Is Born. And we actually won the competition.
The Sheridans?
The Sheridans, right.
Wow.
But they gave us second place. And it was Sonny Bradshaw, who was who was the manager of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And when everybody started raising hell and said, the Shardens won the show, man, he says, you guys didn't listen, man. The name of the show is A Star is Born,
Right.
not Stars.
It's not a group.
No.
So that wasn't right.
We got second place.
Right.
Right.
Who won?
It was Eddie Parkins, who used to sing with Alton Ellis. It was Alton and Eddie.
Okay,
Alton and Eddie, who sang Muriel.
Right, right.
It was Alton and Eddie. So Eddie Parkins won the show, and he got a trip to New York to sing on the Ed Sullivan Show.
So that, wow. So you would have gotten that trip.
Yes,
had they-
we would have gotten that trip, right?
Wow.
And
Wow.
to get onto this, to get onto the circuit to do the show, we had four guys: Edwin Brown, Owen Roberts, and a guy we used to call him Wattle. But Wattle voice wasn't up to scratch, so we needed a fourth,
Right.
member of the group. So one day, we're struggling because we need a fourth member, right? A tenor, a guy with a nice high pitched voice. And one day we're home, and my bass singer came home, and he said, "I got a replacement, man." I said, "Yeah." He says, "Yeah, I got this kid. He's good, but we got to teach him harmony."
Right.
So he brought this kid home, and we started teaching him. And that kid was Pat Kelly,
Wow.
and that's how we started.
Wow. So you guys groomed Pat Kelly pretty much.
Yeah. We taught him harmonies, and he became a member of the group, and he sang with us for about 5 years.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen. So we're talking about Pat Kelly with the Sheridans. Talk to me about that Carlos Malcolm. link.
Well, Carlos Malcolm was a genius,
Right.
because at that time in Jamaica, you had bands so many bands springing up, and you had bands like Keshin and the Souvenirs. You had the Scatolites. You had Byron Lee and the Dragoneers. So many different groups.
Right.
Tomorrow's Children with Ken Lazarus.
Right.
And Carlos came right in the middle of that. But the thing is that Carlos was playing mostly for black, ghetto people.
Okay.
Now, one day, a white guy came, and he was asking Carlos to teach him to play the bass player. He wanted to be a bass player, and he wanted Carlos to teach him. And Carlos said to him, "What's your name?" And he said, "Ardley Williams." Now, Ardley Williams had the #1 record because he made the whole record. He sang, he played the bass, the drums, the guitars, the piano. He did everything. And this was something new. This one guy played all the instruments and was a white guy.
Right.
So Carlos said, "You want me to teach you the bass?" He said, "Well, I play the bass, but I can't really play the bass." Right? So Carlos said, "Well, okay, come on in." And a few weeks after that, Trevor Lopez, he's living somewhere in South Florida.
Right.
And Trevor is like a young white Jewish Jamaican.
Right.
But he's white in appearance. Right? And Carlos said, "Okay, I'll take you in." And he started playing guitar. Then we had Freddie Campbell,
Right.
the drummer, who was another Caucasian-looking guy.
Right.
So the band, Carlos wasn't trying to change the band.
Right.
But because
It changed.
It changed.
Right.
And I remember we were playing out on the St. Thomas Road one night, and Byron Lee was playing on the next beach from us, right? And somehow the wind changed. Instead of blowing from east to west, it was blowing from east. No,
From west to east.
it was blowing from west to east. And somehow Byron Lee took a break. And when the breeze turned up and the horns took the music up the beach,
Right.
about 6 guys drove down and was saying, "Where's the music coming from?"
That was Byron Lee and his people.
Byron Lee's people. And when they came down and they heard the music, they went back and was telling these guys, "You guys won't come and hear this band." And within weeks, we started playing at the Sombrero Club up in Moorlines Road.
Right.
And all the Byron Lee crowd started coming to us, man.
Wow. And this
So
is St. Thomas, you say, right?
yeah. on the St. Thomas Road, yeah.
Wow.
So we were taking people, and then we started getting work down in Montego Bay, right? I think it was the White House Club and the Ocean View Club in Montego Bay.
Right.
So we started taking all the people, and they were falling all over the place.
Wow.
So we were making tracks.
Right.
You know, so we were doing a lot of shows, you know, and playing night. And at that time, man, believe it or not, the early 60s, right? I was getting like 15 pounds a week, Jack.
Yeah?
When
That's good money back then, though, right?
People were getting 7 and 6 a week.
Doing regular jobs.
You're doing regular jobs.
Wow.
And Winston Francis was earning 50.
I dig that.
Hey, man.
I'm loving that.
Boy.
It's a big things. We left the house and we're doing big things. Ladies and gentlemen, you hear it. Now, you also dabbled in the R&B arena, or your version of it. Talk to me about the alter ego, Billy Cole.
Oh man, I was going to talk to I was going to talk to you earlier about G-Cole.
Nah, that's my uncle. We're going to Billy now. We're going to talk about Billy.
Man,
talking about Billy.
This is 1975.
Yeah,
and I'm in London, and I'm working in a studio called the Workhouse Studios, which sounds like a prison.
Kind of does.
But we're working in the studios with Manfred Mann's Hurt Band, and Manfred Mann was a big name in the UK, well, big name in Europe, right? And Manfred and I were good friends because I was introduced to him by a friend called Stanley Pemberton. We won't talk about him.
No shine. No shine.
But anyway, you know, I was introduced to him. So I started going up to the studio and started getting a feel of the studio and doing some work. And I started writing some songs. So I got hooked up with Dave Barker, Double Barrel.
Okay.
You know, so, and Bobby Davis, you know, and we started going, I started writing some songs. And I wrote this song called Extra Careful.
Right.
I can't exactly tell you what inspired me to write the song, but I wrote this song called Extra Careful.
Right.
And I recorded it, and it turned out to be an R&B track.
Right.
And the bass line that was on it, I just couldn't live with it. So I got one of the greatest bass players in the world called Philip Chen. He used to, he played with James Brown.
Right.
You know, he played with everybody.
Wow.
You know, and he was a Jamaican Chinese, right? But you can't tell him that he's Chinese. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you quickly that one night a guy, this is in Kingston, said to him, "What is Chinese boy I go out with?"
Yeah.
And he got so mad, man.
Wow.
He got so mad, and he grabbed this guy and bust a beer bottle for cut off him throat.
Really? For calling him Chinese boy.
And him said, "Me's a Jamaican."
Don't play with Philip.
Oh, yes.
Don't play with Phil.
So I called Phil and said, "Listen, I want you to play the bass on this track for me."
Yeah.
And he said, "Okay." I said, "How much you going to charge me?" He said, "If you going to talk to me about money, Cabra, don't come to me with that."
Right.
I said, okay. And he came and they played the track. And after we played the track, all the big guys came to the studio, and everybody who listened to it says, "Yep, this is a hit."
Wow.
But the problem is, it's an R&B track.
Right.
So if you put Winston Francis on it, nobody's going to believe it.
Right.
So you got to put a different name on it. Some of the guys were saying, "Boy, in a way it sounds like Nat King Cole." Right? So we just came up and said, "Okay, the best name is for Billy Cole."
Right.
And it just happened.
Dropped it on the
And
Billy.
believe me, that record started playing, and everybody, we sent it to Jamaica, and everybody was going crazy about it, right? And Winston Williams, at the time they used to call him the Whip.
Yeah. Big up Winston Williams.
Yeah, man. So they gave him the record, and him say, "I don't know Billy Cole, that's right. A Cobra, man."
So he knew.
So he burst the bottle.
Right. Funny enough, if he had sent it on a Winston, they probably wouldn't have given any credence.
Right. But okay.
Yeah.
So right.
So you had to do what you had to do.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, you hear me talking about a track. I'm going to give you a feel for this one, all right? And again, it's called Extra Careful of Billy Cole, a.k.a. Mr. Winston Francis. That is straight R&B. That is straight R&B. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to grab that one from YouTube, dig up the archive. But when I heard that one, I was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. It is an R&B joint. And many reggae artists have tried to do the R&B thing, but it just, it's something about, it's just like it's a struggle for them to do the reggae.
Well, funny enough, this was one of Barris Hammond's, he used to sing this on stage.
Barris?
Barris used to sing Extra Careful on stage, one of his favorite tracks.
Barris
and Barris is a great R&B singer.
He is. That he is. He's one of those who have been able to, dabble.
Step on the other side.
Yeah, on the wild side. No, I did an episode very recently on Alpha Boys School.
Okay.
I know you have some connection, some affiliation.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Well, I went to Aloysius, St. Aloysius Boys School. And the affiliation is the Catholic Church.
I got you.
And most of the sisters who were like Sister Ignatius, who was the famous person that was the innovation of Alpha,
right?
And the music side of it. She also taught in St. Aloysius School, but I don't call it a school. I call it a university.
Wow!
Because when I was like 13 years old and I was going to Aloysius, there was a teacher there called Mrs. Sutherland, right? At that time, love was Love, right? Sex was something else,
right.
Nobody talked about sex,
right? Just love,
but everybody talked about love,
right.
Now, my teacher, right, Mrs. Sutherland, taught the kids, and it was the boys' school. She taught them sex, right?
I'm nuns onto something.
So it was a university,
right. You learned everything,
every single thing you can think of, life in general, right? Yeah. So the priest that was at Alpha, they were there at St. Aloysius Boys School and St. Joseph School, and I was talking to a friend of mine in Germany who went to St. Aloysius, a Jamaican guy,
right?
And we were talking one day, and he said to this other German guy, the greatest school in the world is St. Aloysius. He said, because the greatest professors, one of them came out of Aloysius, the greatest criminals in the world.
We put everybody out. I got you. We run the bank and we rob the bank.
Yeah, bro.
I like it.
So that was my, and every I think it was every Tuesday and Thursday evening, we were taken from school and taken to Cathedral on North Street, and the boys from Alpha would be coming down too. So we had an intermix.
I got you.
Right, we had to do choir practice. We had to learn the Catholic religion. Right, and I remember I used to be an altar boy, and I got thrown out of it because in the Catholic Church there is they spoke in Latin, and they taught us certain prayers in Latin, and you had to beat your chest and say mea culpa, me maximi culpa, right? But being a rebel, I say mea cowboy, me Mexican cowboy. And Father heard and came and grabbed me in the head, man.
So he gotta go. He gotta go. He's problems.
Threw me out.
It's amazing as you talk about all the names and stuff that you mentioned came up when I was having that conversation about Alpha.
Really?
The nurses, and I was telling Joshua when he was here, he's the manager of the Alpha Schoolboys radio station.
Right.
It's like those nuns,
Joshua's
man.
a Caucasian.
Yeah. Joshua Chamberlain.
Yeah, I was the one who introduced him.
Yeah?
Yeah, to Alpha.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I should have told him that you're going to be around.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he gave me the whole rundown, and I'm telling him, I'm like, yo, these nurses, if you think about it, these nurses are way instrumental in dancehall culture. He's telling me the nurses had a sound.
Of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, check that out. It's on the timeline. You can go see that conversation. But Alpha, instrumental and in so many different ways outside of even music. You're from that era, like I mentioned, of a lot of musical talent. But you're also from that era where a lot of the musical talent had formal training.
Right.
That reflects in your work.
Right.
People don't realize when it comes to singers, you have natural talent.
Of course. And you have to have that to start with.
You have to have that from the get-go.
Right.
And then you have trained singers.
Right.
And you can tell the difference.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Some people get the training in the church, some people get it in the school, but it's almost like you can sing sheet music.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, and that's something that can translate. You can go on to music schools and stuff like that. You attended music school right here in Miami, right?
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about that experience.
Well, I was talking about working on board ship. Mm-hmm. And I when I left Carlos Malcolm, I went to Nassau because we were actually playing in Nassau and Freeport, Grand Bahama. And when some of the guys decided, well, all the guys, were buying some fancy clothes, some big collars and, some fancy shoes. And you can't just have all this beautiful gear and just have it in the Bahamas. You got to take it to Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the guys started saying, Carlos, we were back in a week, man. And everybody started drifting.
Right.
Because they got to go show off their gear.
Right.
So I boarded a ship. The same guy I was talking to you about, Zim Green.
Right.
That we were looking for 35 years. We found him last night.
Yeah.
So Zim said, you going to Jamaica? I said, yeah, man, I'm going to pack my bag. I'm going to Jamaica. And he says, where's your passport? And I said, yeah. And he grabbed it and he ran aboard the ship because he was working aboard the ship. And he said, from the gang, I'll see you next week. Hang about.
And he took your passport?
Yep. So I had to hang in Nassau until he came back.
Zim,
next week. Right? Anyway, when he came back, he got me a job on another ship called the MV Neely.
Right.
And while I'm working on this ship, some people came on board, heard me singing, fell in love with my voice. And this guy called Bernard Bartlett, he was living in Hialeah. He said, you got to come and be trained properly because I know you can do well.
Right.
So he introduced me to a guy in Coral Gables called Chuck Bird. And this guy was a wizard.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah.
And today I was asking my nephew if he I have some photographs in Jamaica. Had some photographs in Jamaica, and I said one of the photographs I would like to find, that I know is in Jamaica, is a photograph that I took at the Fontainebleau Hotel. I was working there that night with the Jackie Gleason Orchestra.
Right.
And in the audience was Spiro Agnew. And at that time, he was the Secretary of State.
Right.
And after my show, well, the reason why I did the show that night is Buddy Greco was the star of the show, but he had laryngitis.
And it's at the Fontainebleau?
Yes, this is at the Fontainebleau.
Okay.
So they needed a replacement, right? So some guy, called Bernard and told him about it. Bernard called Chuck, and Chuck said to the guys, I got the perfect replacement.
Right.
And he said, yeah, who is he? And he said, I got a young kid called Winston Francis.
Right.
And they said, where's he from? He says, he's from Jamaica. They said, oh, no, we're talking about replacing Buddy Greco, man.
Yeah, with a Jamaican kid?
He said, let him do a rehearsal with you.
Right.
So they took me over to the beach.
Right.
Did a rehearsal. And I was ready, man. I was ready. So after we did 4 songs, Jackie said, cut.
Right.
Get ready. 8 o'clock, you're on stage.
Wow.
To the Taylors.
So you were actually there singing for the legendary Jackie Gleason?
Yeah. It was his band. It was Jackie's band.
It was Jackie's band?
Yeah, Jackie Gleason Orchestra.
Wow.
So straight to the Taylors. Cut. My bow tie is this big, man.
Yo.
So,
the fashion was real.
Yeah, man. So, and King the Tailor, that was in Miami, the star of clothes, King the Tailor, chopped me my suit, man.
He hooked it up.
And that night, I was on stage, and when I was finished with my show, Spiro Agnew came on stage and shook my hand, put his arm around me, and said, take some photographs.
How old were you at this point?
I was 19.
Wow. Kid.
Yeah, I was a kid.
Wow.
Wow. And by this time, all the news was going back to Jamaica. Guess who's singing on Miami Beach?
At that time, singing on Miami Beach.
Hey, man.
Past that 15 pounds, right?
Yeah.
I love it. I guess Zim taking that passport kind of worked out, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So you see why I was excited to find him after all these years.
Yeah. Next time you see him giving you your passport again. You never know. No, it's when I'm thinking about listening to that performer, Jackie Gleason, and this in itself is formal training.
Yeah, well, it was.
Yeah, and it reflects in your sound and so forth. Again, working even with Carlos Malcolm, I didn't even know he played bass. I thought it was just trombones was his thing.
No. He played everything.
Wow.
He's a multi instrumentalist. He plays drums.
Right.
He plays a trumpet. He plays everything.
Wow. And then we're talking about Pat Kelly. Yo, it's like you've been through. No, when you were with Pat, is that before the Technique situation or?
No, this was way before.
Way before.
Because after. When Carlos and took me and the group to Nassau, it was only 3 of us that went to Nassau. Pat said he didn't want to tour.
Right. Wow. So we're talking about growing up, young kid coming up. Here come the 60s, the mid 60s. You're recording for legends like Sir Coxsone Dodd.
Yep.
Studio One.
Well, he's the only one I recorded for.
All your recording in Jamaica was Studio One?
Most of my recordings, yes.
Jackie Me Too.
Yeah. Oh, man.
The Young Genius.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Tell me about it, man.
Talk to me about because every time I talk to somebody, there's some little, everybody's got their nuances and stuff like that. But every time I talk to somebody who's the Studio One experience, it's different, but it's almost the same. What's your experience, or what was your experience at Studio One like?
Well, I actually didn't go to Studio One. I went to a university.
Wow.
Never
heard it put like that.
Yeah, it was a university.
Right.
And you were properly trained. Yes. You were
Studio One University.
Properly. Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Now, at that time, we were all kids, including Jackie.
Right.
And when you walked into Studio One, Clement Coxsone Dodd, could not read music. He could not play an instrument. But the guy was a genius when it came to music.
Right.
Because he would listen to something and he would say, somebody would say, oh, this record brought in by Alton. Alton was going to record his song. And Coxsone would say, let me have a listen. And he'd listen to the song. This is the original. And he listened to the song and he says, no, a G chord for sing this one.
Right. He had the ear.
And it's absolutely on spot.
Wow.
I remember the night when I recorded California Dreamin'. Yeah. And he came in and he's listening to the song. And I couldn't hear it because he turned the music down so low.
Right.
And I said, Sir D, you can't hear the music.
Yeah.
Turn it up now. Him said, Winston, don't listen to music with the ears. Listen to it with your heart.
Wow.
And I learned something that night.
Wow.
So that was, I didn't go to Studio One, man. I went to a university.
Studio One University.
And I learned so much love in that university. Yeah, 23 Brentford Road.
Wow.
Which is now 23 Brentford Boulevard.
Right.
I learned so much from there, and I had friends who were lifelong friends from that time because I introduced my wife to Alton Ellis, and they became lifelong friends until he passed away.
Right.
All the guys who were there, we were just close friends. We're family.
Right.
So every time I think about that era, I get goosebumps.
I can imagine because as I sit here and I listen to you talk, and I'm saying to myself, you worked with and around, the Jackie Me Too's, the Alton Ellis, the Delroy Wilson, legends in their own right, including yourself. What was that energy like, having all that talent? If it was sports, they'd say future Hall of Famers in the building. It
was electric. Every day was electric.
Wow.
Every single day, something new was created.
Right.
And if you look back at the history of the music and you think about it, if you check every day by day, you will see that every single day something new was created.
Wow.
I remember when I recorded Mr. Fix-It. The drummer, right? He created something new that day.
Right.
In the shots he was playing.
Right.
And after that recording, everybody started recording it. Now, the introduction on Mr. Fix-It. If you listen to Barry Salmon's standing that's Mr. Fix-It. And you have about at least 50 tracks that have got the same introduction. Yeah. The same introduction. Now, that day, right? I can't remember exactly the date was, but if you go back and check it out, that day, something new was created.
Right. Like you
and
said, Studio One University.
Every single day, something new was created in Studio One.
Wow.
Right. So when you look back at it today and you say, the way the kids record today, they take a sample from this and they take a sample from that and they put this with that and they put it in a mixing pot. It sounds great.
Right.
But nothing new.
Nothing new. No originality.
Nothing new.
Right.
And when you look back at that era, every single day something new was created.
Right.
How can you recreate that?
Genius.
You know,
We've lost those times.
Believe me, we have.
We've lost. And what's crazy, and again, when we talk about that synergy, I go back to what you said earlier, that in those times, timing wise, there was a synergy amongst the artists you mentioned. You know what I mean? I'm gonna smoke a cigarette or pass it. I'm gonna smoke a spliff or pass it. It was that love on people writing songs.
Yeah.
You're sharing your creative juices, your creative elements. Now, you have a song. We were just talking about California Dreaming, right?
Right.
With some special people singing background for you. Right? Let's talk to the masses about who that is and how it came to be. Just let me know.
Well, this particular, at that time, we used to record rhythm and then voice.
Right.
And then background voices, backing vocals.
Right.
And we had recorded the backing track. I went in and I did my voice. Coxsone Dodd had 4 girls, which were they were kind of Asian looking, Indian looking girls.
Right.
I think there were 3 of them were sisters, right? And every evening after the full session was done, these girls would come and listen to the tracks and put on their backing vocals. Right. This particular day, I was sitting at the cooling tower in Studio One. You had a huge cooling tower that it was made out of wood and it had some pipes in it with some tanks at the top. And this used to cool the presses, the record presses.
Okay, the record press, yeah.
Right. So we used to just sit up on there and we used to sing with everybody. Another thing is, like you mentioned before, guys used to sit and sing and write with each other. Now, if you came with a song and you said to me, "Hey, Winston," I say, "I need love. Where else can I put behind that, man?" I said, "Love, true love." Right? I didn't ask and say, I part wrote that.
Right.
Today, contract.
Hey, man.
One word.
Need my royalties.
One word you put into somebody's song, they got to pay you for it.
Put me in a copyright.
Yeah, man. And you go to jail, bro. You'll go to jail.
You got to put gas in the plane.
You understand?
You know?
So we were just sitting up in the cooling tower, and Bob was recording that day, and Ken was recording.
Right. Bob Marley.
Bob Marley and Ken Booth.
Ken Booth.
Right, we're recording this day. And I finished my tracks. Bob finished his tracks. And while we're sitting up there chatting away, Bob turned to me and he says, "Cabra," because they used to call me Cobra.
Right.
Right. He says, "Cabra, when you gonna finish your thing, man?" And I said, "I'm waiting on the girls to come in." And about half an hour later, he came back and he says, "The girl, them to come yet?" I said, "No, them don't come yet." He said, "So by the time them come, it's midnight. I'll get to finish my thing." I said, "Well, go enough for him." Said, "But me can't finish until you finish your thing. Go with us about the same tape."
Oh, yeah.
So I said, "All right." And an hour later, he came back and he said, "No, this is the Cabra. We'll talk to Morris, man. I'll make her do something. Why we can't go do the voice, the backing vocal?"
Right. This is Bob saying
Yeah,
that.
Bob saying to me, "Why we can't go in and do the backing vocal?" So I said, "Yeah, we can." So we went in. I spoke to Morris, who was the engineer, genius of a guy this is, Sylvan Morris. And I said, "Morris, can Bob and myself want to try and do the backing vocal?" And I said, "Okay." Set up, the mics are set up already. And we went in and we started. We recorded 2 tracks that day. Recorded "To Experience"
Right.
and "California Dreamin'."
Wow.
Now, this is the shot.
Right.
At the end of the night, Mr. Dodd came in, and we were sitting outside smoking and having, as we usually do.
Right.
Mr. Dodd came in, and Morris said to him, "These are the tracks that I think you should listen to first." And he played a couple of tracks, and then Mr. Dodd took out "California Dreamin'." And when he took it out and he started listening, he said, "Jesus Christ, you hear my girl them so nice." And Bob said to him, "Sir D, I'm here, call girls." I said, no, Robert, man. No, man.
So he had no idea.
No idea.
That it wasn't the ladies, because you guys were singing them falsettos.
Yeah, we were singing falsettos. Him said, Jesus Christ, man. You my girl, them so sweet, man. I'm about to get mad. I said, Sir D, I'm here call girls up. Him said, no. I'm talking about wrong girls. Him said, I'm young, I'm camera do it, you know. So him said, Morris, who was singing do backing vocals? And him said, no, you them there.
Wow.
I said, what?
Wow.
Him said, Winston.
And you are not a tenor, you're not a soprano, you know?
Yeah.
So you had to adjust some vocals for go up there, so.
Yes.
And keep it in key.
Yes. And then when he listened to Experience, him said, Jesus Christ. They're going to tear down the world, you know.
Studio One University.
Believe me, man.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Believe me.
Leroy, big up himself. Mr. Fix It is the original, for real. And you hear us talking about these songs right about now. I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be stingy. I'm going to share with them right about now.
Sure.
This tune right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this one's called California Dreaming. Keep it moving, keep it grooving. It is Homegrown.
All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. I took a walk on a winter's day. As I said before, if I was in LA, California's dreaming.
I love it.
Went to the church yesterday.
California, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, California Dreaming. Featuring Bob and Ken Booth.
And I begin to pray. No, the preacher is a call. 'Cause he knows I'm gonna stay. He knows I'm gonna stay. I told him so. California's dreaming.
I dig it. Blessings, Frida. Thanks for joining us.
Somebody help me now. I wanna go so bad, yeah. Ooh, all the leaves are brown, yeah. And the skies are gray. I took a walk on a winter's day. As I said before, if I was in LA.
It's a big tune. It's a big tune. It's like, you know, when I'm listening to it right now, I'm like, yo, you need to probably check out one of them James Bond movies and see if somebody owes you some money, because it almost sounds like the intro to one of those James Bond movies. I'm trying to remember. I'm like, which James Bond movie is this? But I love it. I love it.
Thanks.
Wow. And that's why, again, I love having these conversations, because you never know.
You never know.
You never know. Bob's over there singing that kind of stuff. Amazing. Now, I talk a lot about the business
Right.
of music on the show. Got a lot of upcoming musicians, producers, and so forth, instrumentalists that watch the show. Mr. Fix It.
Right, yes, sir.
That one we're talking about, covered by some greats, John Holt, Freddie McGregor, and a couple other people. But it was not until UB40
Right.
covered that one that you first saw some publishing royalties and so forth. Talk to me a bit about that.
Well, until now, you have to go back
Right.
to square one.
Right.
The reason why we as kids were recording was for one reason: girls.
That hasn't changed.
You know, just girls.
I got you. Forget
because-
about everything else.
That's it.
That girl doesn't need to hear me sing.
You understand? Because
love it.
on a Saturday night when you go to a party or a dance, right? You're standing there, you're waiting, and you're summing up the terrain. The nicest girl that comes in a party, you got your eyes on her, right? And when your song play, you go over and you says, "Could I dance with you, babe?"
Right.
And she might said, "So me sing that song there now."
Yeah.
I said, "Are you sing that?" Then come
All of a
on.
sudden things done change.
Are you in
change.
there? You know you in there, right?
Not so bad looking after.
So that is the only reason why we're recording.
Right.
I mean, we were kids, and most of us were under parents' jurisdiction, right? So your parents are sending you to school. They're paying your welfare. They're doing everything.
Right, right.
So there's no need for you to worry about money.
Right.
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 But 10 years later, things change. You start getting girls pregnant.
Now you need the money.
You need some money, right? So that's when everybody started complaining. Oh, they're not going to pay the women. Because you need the money now, bro. You understand? But before that, like for 10, 15 years.
Just funny games.
Yeah, man. Girls. So
wow.
I never received one single penny for recording Mr. Fix-It.
Right.
Never received a royalty check.
Right.
Didn't know that existed.
Wow.
Right.
Wasn't an equation at all.
No.
Wow.
Until, I'm in the UK, and then I start learning about, royalties.
Right.
And publishing, which was, I never heard that word.
Right.
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 And anything that anyone brought to you and say, we're going to give you a contract. So sign this. You sign it. You don't read nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Somebody knew it just wasn't you.
Yeah. Until I found out a word called in perpetuity.
Right.
And my lawyer said to me, any contract that you're going to be signing, just don't read the contract. Just scan it and look for in perpetuity.
Right.
You know what it means? I said, no, sir. He says, it means forever.
Oh, God.
So when you sign a contract in perpetuity, you're signing it forever.
Right, right.
So you're done.
Right.
Right. Unless you get big
Life.
money. Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So I learned that.
Right.
So I like to pass that on to all the young kids.
In perpetuity.
In perpetuity.
In perpetuity.
Yeah.
Come like one of them pregnant girls that child support. In perpetuity. My bad.
So
yes.
So anytime you're going to sign a contract,
right.
make sure that that word is not involved.
Right.
And you're sweet.
Right.
Anyway, I'm doing a tour in the States, 1997, and my wife called me. She said, "Oh, hon, UB40." I says, "Yeah." What are you talking about?
The UB40?
You understand?
Yeah.
And she said, "Well, they called their manager called Carol Briney, and she's asking if the guys can record Mr. Fix-It." And I got so mad, man. I'm doing backflips. I'm saying, "What? This is my dream come." Yeah,
right.
Of course, yeah. So the next day she called me back. She said, "Love, they sent a courier over and with an album. They recorded the track already." And I said, "What?"
So that question was a formality.
Yeah. I said,
Okay.
play. Do you want me to play it on the phone? I said, "Yeah." And I can't hear what is being played because
right.
my adrenaline is flowing so big and so fast,
right,
that I'm so pumped up, man. UB40 recorded my song.
Wow.
And believe it or not, Jay, this is the first time I'm going to know what royalties are.
Right.
Because I'm living in projects there.
Right.
And every now and then my wife would say to me, "I just wish one day we can make some money, we can buy a house." And I'm saying, "Don't worry, one day it's going to happen." And suddenly, man, I'm seeing a check.
One day coming up. That one day is coming up.
And when I received that first check, and I'm looking at it in my hand, it's shaking with that check. I can hardly see what's happening. And I'm thinking, I'm going to buy me a nice BMW.
Right.
And then I'm shaking it. I'm saying, "Boy." And my wife comes down and she grabs the check out of me. She said, "Skip." And she said, "This is not bad." She said, "What are you going to do?" I said,
I was going to buy a BMW.
She says, "No, honey, we going to pay down the house with this money."
Oh, man.
And luckily, you got somebody who got some sense. You understand what I'm saying?
Wives will save your life.
Oh, man. Come on,
the right one.
Yeah. So when I couldn't believe it, man.
Wow. What was that check like?
About $30,000.
What?
So this is my first step.
Wow.
And after that, it just kept going.
Right.
Up and up and up. And here I am today, man.
How important is it to properly take care of your masters?
But
your copyrights.
But check this out.
Yeah.
Check this out. And I hope some of the young musicians will ever listen to this. One day, my son is leaving the house. It was a Sunday, and he's walking out of the house. And he turns back and he looks at me and he shakes his head. And I said, why you shake your head? And he said, Dad, I feel so sorry for you. I said, what the hell you feel sorry for me for? I gave you a home.
Right.
You've been through school.
Right.
You got a big job. You got everything. Well, you've sorry. He said, no, don't take it that way. He said, I feel sorry for you, Dad, because you've not gotten your worth.
Right. You just do.
You know, I said, well, I'm doing all right. He said, no, you ain't. He said, you know what? You need a manager. He said, from today, I'm your manager.
Wow. Your son?
Yeah, my son, my eldest son.
Right.
And he's still my manager.
Wow.
He's still my producer.
Wow.
He's still my son.
Wow. In that order. As for this contract, and this, what's the word?
In perpetuity. Just check it out.
I love it.
And anything that my son gets come through, man, the first thing he looks for is what?
In perpetuity.
You got it.
I love it.
Yep.
I just love it because, again, I talk to people all the time, and it's like, you know, there's so many artists that, like you said, you know, recorded and they were focused on some other thing.
Right.
After that era of let me do it for the girls, was a lot of let me do it for the show.
Right.
I'm gonna record a song so that it busts. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. One bust, so we can get on the show.
Right.
We're thinking about the long term and the recording part of it, mechanical part of it. So many people now, you see people pass away, you see people going through all kind of struggles.
So much problems, man. So much problems.
Just because of
they didn't get the paperwork right.
Didn't get the paperwork right or get the paperwork at all.
You see, a lot of people are focused on the royalties from PRS, which is Performing Rights Society. Right. And every time you play my record on the radio, I got to get a few pennies.
Right.
And that's what everybody's focused on. Then you forget about the big screen, which is publishing.
Yes.
Right. Now, before you go into the studio to record, go check out the publishing deals first, man, because that's where the money's at.
Where the money's at.
And if you are not focused on the publishing, and this is my son who taught me this.
Right.
If you're not focused on the publishing, forget it. Don't go into the business. It's a dead end street.
Wow.
Check out your publishing. You have to learn the rudiments of the game before you get involved. If you don't know how to throw the dice, don't throw it.
Crazy.
Because you're going to throw 2 eyes all the time. Right. You'll never throw a 6 in the eye.
And I always say, you have to be careful because whatever you don't know, you best believe the other guy does.
He does.
You know what I mean?
And this is what he's prepared for. And he's hoping that you don't know it. You'll never find out.
He's preying on your ignorance, capitalizing on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's what we show up to the table with, a bag of ignorance.
Of course.
You know, I the other day I was in Cleveland. I was downtown, their art area, and I stumbled across a record store, vinyl store. And I bought The Harder They Come on vinyl.
Hey.
You know, and it was a movie I'd seen way when I was a kid, but because I got a vinyl now, it triggered him. Let me go watch this movie. And I watched the movie The Harder They Come. And that movie's a perfect depiction of the business.
Of course.
Up to 2019.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? You show up with your talent and your talent only.
Right.
It's over.
Yep. Done.
You know what I mean?
Game over.
Game over. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're talking to the legend right now, trying to bring you the info, trying to bring you the music. Another joint that you mentioned earlier, which is, I'm going to call it the $30,000 song. Mr. Fix It. We're going to play a little piece of that for the masses.
Okay.
Keep it moving, keep it grooving. It is Homegrown. Blessings, Joanna Marie. Thanks for joining us. Frida, what up?
If you're feeling lonely because you're one and only, boy has found a girl and ran away. Just you reach for your phone, I'll be there at home. My name is Fix It, and I'll be there. If your heart's been shattered, the pieces have scattered all across the ground.
You feeling this one? Hope you feeling this one?
Just you reach for your phone, I'll be there.
Junior Francine, thanks so much for joining us.
Is fixed, I'll be there. Love is not a bed of roses. Life's not the easy game it seems. If you've been mistreated by your lover, don't worry, come see me.
Mr. Sweetland said this one is a monster tune.
Heart's been shattered, the pieces have scattered all across the ground of loneliness. Just you reach for your phone, I'll be there at home. My name is Fix-It, I'll be there.
Another Studio One classic, another big one. By the way, that song we're talking about earlier, that I was saying sounded like a James Bond.
Oh yeah,
Goldfinger.
oh yeah.
She just mentioned it. She said Goldfinger. So go ahead and check it out. If I'm not the only one that heard it, somebody might owe you some money. I'm just another 30. You know, it's
And why not?
Why not? Gotta put some gas in the plane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, growing up, before you got your start and music became the mainstay for you, who are you looking up to as musically, that is?
Everybody.
Wow.
Everybody. I was looking at Sam Cooke, you know, James Brown, you know, the Drifters,
Right.
which was one of my mainstay, the Drifters.
The Drifters.
You know, because of my group.
Right.
You know, Nat King Cole.
Wow.
You know, you name it.
Right.
As long as again, Sam Cooke was, you know, one of my heroes. You know, I used to just sing Sam Cooke. You know,
Right.
just listen to me every 24/7.
Right.
Sam Cooke. You know, and my mom loved Sam Cooke. So
One of my faves.
you know, I was cool.
Yeah.
You know, I was making noise because if you play anything else,
Right.
it's noise.
Right.
You understand? But as long as I was playing Sam Cooke and Nat King Cole, I was cool.
You're good to go.
Yeah, man.
I dig
So, you know, I just loved good, clean voices. You know, and some of the groups, you know, like the Moonglows, you know, that guy with that gold tooth.
Right.
You know, so
Oh, Pimp.
yeah, man. I
Right.
you know, we just sat and listened to good, clean singing day after day. You know, and it was going to the subconscious.
Right.
You know, and it was sitting there.
Right.
So whenever you're ready to rewind your tape, there was also always something up there, a note that you could hit because that dude hit that note, so you could go there.
Right.
You know, so
It's doable.
that was your schooling.
Wow.
You know.
Wow. Especially when you're on the island, where most of the music that was played was American top 40 type
Of
music
course,
anyway.
of course. And you have to remember at that time that, like you said, most of the music was American music, and the radio stations weren't playing anything.
Right.
That's why I was talking to a friend of mine, an Italian friend of mine, last year. You know, and we were talking about the passing of Winston Meritone Blake.
Right.
You know, and he was saying, you know, Meritone, you know, brought a lot to the table as far as music is concerned.
Right.
And I said, he didn't bring a lot to the table. He made the table.
Wow.
You understand? Because at
Wow.
that time, you know, radio stations weren't playing reggae music.
Right.
If you want to hear reggae music, you had to go to the turntable.
Got to go to the art of dance hall if
You
and when the
understand?
dance hall came around.
And it was Winston, you know, who brought the Brownings up from Red Hills, you know, to listen to reggae music.
Right.
You know, and when they started playing their music in their houses, and their dad was, what the hell you play? You
Right.
know? Is that the ghetto trash?
The Bogo Yaga.
Yeah. I would say, no, Daddy, this is good stuff.
Right.
You know, it's got a dance to go with it, go like this.
Right.
And that's how
Pops
we
is like,
made
get
our
that
way
out of
through.
here.
So it was great stuff.
Right.
So we got to lift our hats, and every day we have to say thank you to guys like that, like Monty Blake, who I spoke to today.
Right.
You know, Winston Blake.
Yeah.
You know, you got to lift your hat to these guys.
Legends.
They made it.
Legends.
You know, and at that time you had what was the name of this jockey on the radio? White guy, came from Canada. I can't remember. I'm sure somebody out there is listening will remember this guy's name.
Ladies, refresh
Charlie
our memories.
Babcock. Charlie
Babcock. Mod.
Did you ever hear the one about Charlie Babcock? He had a radio program that he used to wake people up. He used to call people and say,
Call him on the phone?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
he used to say, this is Charlie Babcock. This is Radio RGR. This is Charlie Babcock. Cool Food with a Live Jive. And he would say, I've got a question for you. Mm-hmm. And he would ask you a question. If you did answer the question right, you win a prize. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe it might be a theater ticket or whatever. Right. And he called this Chinese man this morning, and he say, "Hey, this is cool, Charlie Babcock, Cool Food with the Live Jive." And the Chinese man say, "You're not cool fool. You're da fool fool."
Wrong call that morning.
And that was the end of his career.
Easy, Charlie.
That was the end of Charlie, man.
So he was just randomly calling people.
Yeah, he just called,
I happened to call the wrong dude that morning.
He called the wrong dude, Jack. Because that was his career over.
Wow. Charlie, man, my bad. I feel
This
you.
is Charlie Babcock, the Cool Fool with the Live Jive.
I feel you.
You're not cool fool.
You're
down fool.
Wait, so guess what I'm having? I'm having a little problem right about now. I got people asking me for acapellas and all kinds of stuff. So I got, who is this asking for acapellas in here? I got Donald says, can I get a Nat King Cole acapella? Frida's asking for acapella. If you want to give it, you can take that mic. This is good. This is cool. You want to give him something?
If you're feeling lonely because you're one and only, boy has found a girl and ran away. Just you reach for your iPhone, maybe your Samsung or whatever. My name is Fix It, and I'll be there.
Easy, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, all the people with the LG phone don't get no big up. Samsung,
too, man.
iPhone, anything else you have, you do for your own, all right? I'll take that up with you and your carrier, okay? Your provider. That was dope. Ladies and gentlemen, you asked for it, you got it, all right? You asked for it, and you got it. You've got something brand new out.
Man, oh man, oh man.
I Killed the Devil.
Yup.
How did that come about?
Well, this is a strange story. Mm-hmm. I had a friend called Arthur. Mm-hmm. And Arthur was doing great. Mm-hmm. Beautiful job, brand new car, nice wife, nice house. Mm-hmm. Everything was going great. Mm-hmm. And he picked up the white powder.
Oh, Lord.
And it was a downturn.
Right.
And he got kicked out of his home. Mm-hmm. He lost his job. Everything was bad.
Right.
And I got a call. I was working in Germany, and I got a call from one of the guys, and they said, things are bad with Arthur, man. He's eating out of the garbage cans. So we got to put, a contingency plan for him. So everybody was trumping up some monies every week.
Yeah.
So he could get himself a place to live.
Right.
And this went on for quite a while. And I think I was in Italy. And I got a call from Arthur. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Hey, Winston, what's happening, man?" And I said, "Bro, everything is good. How was you?" He said, "Man, listen, I killed the devil last night."
Wow.
I said, "What? What happened?" He said, "Man, I quit.
Cool.
I quit.
Wow.
I quit."
Wow.
And he says, "I'm back on the road, man." He said, "I got me a job. I'm working. Man, I had to call you, man, and let you know that.
Right.
God has blessed me. I'm back. And I just want to thank for having friends like you."
Wow.
So I just sat down and wrote the song, I killed the devil last night. I killed him with a wooden knife because, you always chop up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow.
Because he wanted to take my life, And I just wrote the song.
From a personal place.
Right. And every time I sing it, it has been recorded now by about 8, maybe 6 or maybe 10 people.
Right.
A Greek. You saw that Greek, the Greek girl singing it. Quite a few people have recorded it, and I think it's a song. It's the lyrics of the song. It's what the song meant.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working in Germany, and a young lady came up to me and she said, "Winston, thank you so much. I killed the devil too."
Wow. Connects with so many people.
You understand? And
day and age.
every time you think about it, it brings an emotional feeling to me to know that this song that I've recorded, that I wrote and recorded, it has done so much for so many people, you know. And I get messages on Facebook with people saying, after listening to I Kill the Devil, you know, I came back to reality.
Wow.
And you saved my life.
Wow.
You know, and when you get things like that, it's a different perspective, you know, and it makes you want to continue your job.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why I love my job, and I will continue to do my job, because I connect with other people.
Right.
And my connection means at times I can help them.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it for that.
I dig it. It's amazing you say stuff like that, because this business, it can be a thankless business.
Yep.
You know, and we're artists, so when we go on stage or we're creating, a lot of times it comes from that personal place, like this song.
Right.
Now, when I say personal, oftentimes personal doesn't necessarily mean literal, but it's a personal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can relate. It's a friend. It's whomever. But then when you put the work out and it resonates personally with other people, that's the priceless part.
I'm telling you, man.
the job.
I'm telling you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I killed the devil last night with a wooden spoon. Let me get a piece of that one. I wouldn't knife, my bad. I was cooking this evening. All right? So let me give you a piece of this one. Keep it moving, keep it grooving. It is Homegrown.
I killed him with a wooden knife. I killed the devil last night because he wanted to take my life. Joe, 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 Joe.
Welcome, Bev. I appreciate you.
He totally influenced me because he knew I was drug free. Then he gave me sweet cocaine. He almost took away my brain. Then he made me into his slave. Wanted to send me to an early grave. But I knew my destiny, and I knew I had to break free. I killed the devil last night. I killed him with a wooden knife. I killed the devil last night because he wanted to take my life. Joe, Joe,
Jonah, we got your dinner ready anytime you're ready, all right? It's a big tune. Yes, it is.
Joe. But last night I saw the light. Then we got into a fight.
Baseline, I'm going, well.
But I was fast. So thank God I'm free at last. I killed the devil last night. I killed him with a wooden knife. I killed the devil last night because he wanted to take my life. Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, the tune is called I Killed the Devil Last Night. And metaphorically speaking, all right, all right, so that's making a know. And I dig what it is about. Sometimes that devil might be that girl we ain't even get rid of, but whomever, I mean, I ain't saying, don't take it from me, you know. I ain't trying to get none of y'all in trouble. But I dig it. It have our roots. It's sound to it. It's sound live.
It is.
It sounds very live.
It is.
It sounds like something that would kill a festival right now.
And I tell you what, it was played by an Italian band.
Man. Which, you know what? Albarosi.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of dope music coming out of Italy, France, and in places. Right. You know what I always wonder when it comes to the legends like yourself is, in today's era of music that's coming out right now, who impresses you right now?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. I love you know, someone gave me a record a few months ago with Eddie Murphy. He had a song called Red Light.
Eddie Murphy, Red Light. Yeah. That's a good song.
Hey.
A lot of people are reggae tune too.
Reggae tune.
Yeah.
You know, I love Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
you know, Beyonce.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard whether it's true or not.
Right.
I don't know if you heard the story about Snoop Dogg changing his name.
Snoop Lion.
Yeah, Snoop
Lion. And you know he got a gospel album now, right?
Hey man.
I'm just saying.
Hey,
ain't nobody too far to come back.
Hey man.
So
you know,
plus it sells.
Well,
Copyright people said Snoop. Get on his gospel joint. You know what I mean?
And
How?
he's in there, man. So you know, I just as long as it's talent, you know, if you're a good tailor, you cut a good suit, I'm in there.
No preferences.
No man.
If it's good, it's good.
It's good.
And that's kind of how I think we have to look at the music in general.
That's right.
You know, a lot of time we have our little favoritisms and you know, whatever reason you choose to do what you do. But you know, if it's good,
it's got to be there.
What more do you ask
You know,
for?
because I remember, like I said, I didn't know nothing about A.J. Brown until
Right.
a few months ago. Someone said, "Have you heard A.J. Brown, man?" And I said, "No." They said, "Have a listen to this track." Right.
Dope.
And
Dope.
I was blown away, man.
And he's now the new lead singer of Third World.
Okay.
So
you
since
know,
so he's definitely doing his thing. Ladies and gentlemen, again, share the link. We're wrapping up. We're having a nice conversation here with Mr. Winston Francis. I always ask that because, you know, when it comes to music, I always feel like, you know, there's a conjunction.
Yeah.
You know, and we have to be mindful of that in terms of, you know, the youth learning from us.
Right.
Us
right.
learning from the youth.
Of course.
The youth sharing with us.
Yeah.
Us sharing with the youth.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
And you, of course, welcome back, Roy. Thank you. And you, of course, you know, you're ever so connected because, of course, your son's in production,
Right.
Son's in management,
Right. Yeah.
So that you're one for the that generation, one for the this one,
Right.
Which is excellent for you, and I can hear it in the sound.
Right.
Now, I always say when I'm talking about even covers and, you know, getting certain things done, when somebody does a cover and does it well, cool. I always feel like when the legends do a cover, it gets smashed out the park. I don't know if it's because you can connect with the real, but there's a song that you just did, right?
Yep.
I think I had that song. I'll tell you the story of how I got the song.
Okay.
When I'm on here, I tell people all the time, I'm not a DJ. I say it loud and proud, not a DJ. So I'm not in that category of people who have to keep up, and I got to keep up with the hype and the this and the that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you send it to me, I'm just going to share with you what's in my headphones.
Right.
Listen what's in my headphones, and if I like it, I'm sharing it with the world.
Of course.
So people come into the timeline all the time, and they'll say, hey, I've got this. I'm the greatest in the world. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks they're something.
Of course.
And they send it over.
Fisherman never say fish stink.
Never. But you are there like, man, is this sardines? You're telling me that's a snapper? So people come in here and tell me all kinds of nonsense, and then they send me this music, and I'm like, man, please. You know, it's hard to tell somebody that sucks.
Believe me.
So I was on doing a show, and Donald came on. Clapping, was like, hey, I'll send you over some music. And I'm like, God, here we go again. Yeah. You know? And but gave my email address, and he sent me over a song that night. And I didn't download it till the morning. And I think after I downloaded that morning, which is probably over a month now,
right.
I don't think a day has passed that I haven't played that song.
Hey, thank you so much.
I love the tune.
Thank you so much.
These folks will tell you I play the heck out of this tune just because I love it. It feels good. So it's a blessing to be sitting down here with you. I don't want to be selfish because I know a lot of people out there like, yo, G,
Yeah,
play
look,
the song.
could I just pop something in your head?
Drop it for me. Yep, go
real
ahead.
quickly. When Clive called me and he said to me, Winston, I'm doing this track and I can hear you singing it.
Yeah.
Right? I'd love you to record it. Right? I was actually at my sister's funeral.
Oh, wow.
Because she passed away a year ago. Right?
Rest in peace.
And I said, Clive, because he also came to the funeral.
Right.
He said, I think you should record this song, man. Even in your sorrow and your grief. You know. He said, do this as a tribute to your sister.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
Right.
And I came down from Connecticut, where my sister was, and I went to New York, and I stayed with Clive the night. Got up in the morning, and we recorded the track. He took me to the airport,
Right.
and I went home.
In and out.
That was it.
In and out.
Done. One take.
Wow. That
One
don't happen.
take.
That don't happen no more.
One take, and that was it.
Yeah.
And he played it while I was in there,
Yeah.
and while I was going up the stairs. He played it, and that was it.
Wow.
He didn't say to me, Winston, come back and do
Let's do some
this.
doubles on this. Some
Yeah.
ad-libs on. Yeah. None of that.
And he called me back and he says, I've got a girl I'm going to put on the track. And he did, and he didn't like it.
Right.
He took her off, and he put another girl, and he called me and says,
Hopefully she ain't watching.
and, he said, I got it.
Right,
It's
right.
done. I said,
Right.
okay. Didn't hear from him again. Well, we speak to each other quite frequently, but didn't mention the track until he called me and he says, I finished the track. I'm going to send it to you.
Right.
And I played it for you. I was blown away, man. Wow.
So was
And
I.
the funniest thing is that I put it on my Facebook. And this dude called me. I think he called me from New York. And he said, what year did you record that song?
Because it has that classic.
And I said,
sound.
I recorded it last year.
Right.
And he said, no, man. That must have been recorded about 20 years ago.
That was a Spinners original, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, no, I recorded this just 7, 8 months ago. He said, no, man, you must have recorded it at least 20 years ago. I said, okay.
He said so. And that's what I mean when I say it maintains a classic
Right.
originality to it, which is probably why he would assume that.
Right.
Because it's not changed. It's the reggae version.
Right.
But the vocals on it, you know what I mean? It's got that, the way you sing, the way you put it down, you could tell that, you're tenured in what you're doing. And there's an ease to which it flows.
Right.
Now, I also play a lot the instrumental version of it by Dwight Pinkney,
Dwight Pinkney.
called the Cobra Man Bounce.
Yep.
Now I'm just putting 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 3 together to see that the Cobra Man, the whole title, comes from you.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how you get that name.
Well, I was saying to my wife and my nephew, we shouldn't be advertising, but we're in the Red Lobsters this afternoon having lunch, and I said we were talking about how our parents used to whoop us, the real Jamaican style,
Right, the real thing.
Whoop! We about
Get something to cry for. Yep.
So we're talking about that, and I said I started working when I was 7 years old, and my niece looked at me. She said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I used to be a contortionist, and there used to be a traveling show in Jamaica called Bim and Bam, and in the part of they had a show called Eating in the Barnyard."
Right.
And in a segment of the show was a nightclub scene.
Right.
Where they had some dances, Sparky and Pluggy. You had Margarita, which was Margarita Mafood, which was Don Drummond's wife.
Right, right.
And she's the one he murdered. She was a Jewess.
Right,
She was a Jewish, beautiful,
Right, right.
really pretty girl.
Right.
And this part of the show, I came on as the Cobra Boy. And, I did contortions where I pulled my stomach way to my back.
Right.
And then I popped it out. I looked like a 9.5-month pregnant woman. I would put my legs over my arms, my hands through, and I walk in my hands like a crab.
Right, right.
And I bend so much. I contort my body so much. I look like a snake. So, like a cobra snake.
I got
so
you.
They call me the Cobra Boy.
So you go into the Cobra Man.
Well, and if I'm walking down the street and somebody say, Winston, I say, yeah, I just knew that guy. But if someone say, Cobra!
We go back.
Yeah! Way back.
We got history. I dig it. It makes sense. Now, Dwight Pinkney, do you know him? Dwight Pinkney, the guitar player?
Cobra!
Legend in his own right. I love it.
So I knew him from forever.
Yeah.
So anytime he calls me, he never say Winston.
Yeah.
He always say Cobra.
Cobra. Because he was back in the studio one days too.
Yeah.
Killing them guitars.
Yeah, man.
Playing with all the legends.
So, the tracks that has really gone wild. nobody knows is Dwight Pinkney. You know, he produced some of the best albums with Delroy Wilson.
Yeah.
You know, but nobody knows.
Ken Booth.
Nobody knows about you know this great guy.
Yeah.
You know, Dwight was forever. You know,
Wow.
And he's one of the guys who used to be sitting on the Coxsone's famous mango tree whenever those mangoes would be falling.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, man. He was there. You know?
Got to time the mangoes, man.
Yeah.
Because if you're missing, somebody else has got it. You know? Ladies and gentlemen, you know what song I'm talking about, right? So I'm going to give it to him. This one is called I'll Be Around. And I'll tell you this, the spinners are rolling right about now saying, damn, how come we ain't think of doing it? It is a dope joint. Keep it moving, keep it grooving. It is Homegrown. I've never played this song once, and I'm not starting today. Got to take it from the top, ladies and gentlemen. It's called I'll Be Around. Make sure you go ahead and get this one added to your collection, all right? iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Play, iHeartRadio, wherever you get music from, it is there. Go ahead and get it. I want to see it on the Billboard charts, all right? Go get it.
This is a fork in the road. Love's dance episode. There's nowhere to go. Oh no, you made a choice. Now it's up to me to bow out gracefully. Though you hold the key, but baby, whenever you call me, I'll be there. Whenever you want me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be around. I knew just what to say. Now I found out today that all the words had slipped away.
Free, that's a big tune, ain't it? Joanna, you love this one.
There's always a chance. A tiny spark will remain. And sparks turn into flames. And love can burn once again. Well, I know you know. Whenever you call me, I'll be there. Whenever you want me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be around.
Go get it, y'all. Go get it. It's a big one. One of my faves for 2019, I can't lie.
Call me on the phone. I'll never, never, ever, ever leave you alone. I'll be there. Oh, girl, I'll be around.
It's a big tune, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, there's stories behind this that, when I tell you, say, And I can hear the you know what I mean? I can hear the connection to it.
Yeah, man.
You know, so she's loving this one.
I know she is.
She's loving this one.
I know she is.
You know what I mean? She talking to some other people right now, talking about, that's my song. The Angels, that's my song.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thanks, man.
It's called I'll Be Around, and I'm saying I love it. I dig it. Like I said, the last time, my wife was telling me the other day, she's like, because I sing it around the house too. She's like, yo, that song again. There's 2 songs and I keep singing that one right there. You know, dope. Big up, Mr. Dwight Pinkney. His instrumental Cobra Bounce. It's
heavy, man. Heavy.
Love it. I want to thank everybody that's logged on to us right now from near and far all across the globe. Give thanks for this gift of technology for people logging in everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere. What's next? What's on the calendar, on the agenda for Mr. Winston Francis coming up?
Well, I wanted to stay a bit longer.
We can arrange that.
You know, I know that. Thanks, man. But I've got a show back in London at one of the largest venues in London and one of the most prestigious venues in London, called the Royal Albert Hall. And I've got a show there on the 12th of next month.
Right.
And it's with the Outlook Orchestra, which is a 38-piece orchestra.
And you're performing with the orchestra?
Yes. Wow. But you can't book a ticket because it's all sold out.
Oh, man. Frida, I'm sorry. Frida's in the UK. She's probably like, yo, let me... Oh, I'm sorry, Frida. I'm sorry.
It was sold out from the time it was announced that the tickets would go on sale. Within an hour. The tickets were all sold.
Wow. Now, is it just you, vocals?
No. There's Biddy McLean and myself.
Biddy,
yeah.
Yo, you no longer haven't seen Biddy. Oh, man.
So, but it was David Rodigan's show. You know. And,
is that an annual event, though, right?
Well, we had it last year at the Royal Festival Hall.
Gotcha.
And the same thing happened. The tickets were sold out within an hour and 15 minutes.
Right.
You know. So he's having it, and last year was his 40th anniversary in the business. So it looks like it's going to be annually. So we just put this on, and it's going to be on the 12th of next month. So I have to be back for that show.
Right.
If not, I would still be here. I would be hanging, because Barry Biggs is a very, very, very close friend of mine.
Yeah.
He is gone down to Jamaica, and he's coming back on Wednesday, and I'm leaving on Wednesday. And he said to me, Winston, please don't leave, man, until I get back. Man. But I gotta go. I gotta go. And I love South Florida, man.
Right.
Because my greatest, I was about to say my asset, but he's the love of my life. My brother is here.
Right.
And I love him sincerely, man.
Right.
And like I was telling you earlier on, we sat and spoke for 7 hours yesterday.
Wow.
Just going back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that again today.
Right. Because you got to get out of here.
We're going to be sitting for hours, maybe 3-4 o'clock in the morning. We'll still be sitting there burning the candle.
Not if Zim get a hold of your passport.
You know what I'm saying?
Then you'll be right here.
I just wish I could have stayed, but I'll be back.
You'll be back.
Muhammad Ali kept on saying, I'll be back. And he came back.
That sounds so dope to me right now. Winston Francis and Biddy McLean.
Yeah.
And the orchestra.
Yeah.
You're recording. That's going to be recorded, right?
Oh, yeah.
DVD kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, if you go online, you can see last year's performance. David Rodigan, Outlook Orchestra with Winston Francis, Biddy McLean, and Tipper Irie. Awesome.
You see this? My copy.
Yeah.
You're sharing it. But that sounds... I'd fly to London for that.
Man, there's so many people. I just came off a cruise, and I was talking to a guy. My wife was playing table tennis, and myself with this guy, and he was asking, "What do you do?" And I told him, and he came back the next day. He said, "The tickets are sold out, man."
Oh, he was trying to get tickets?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's from the UK.
No, man.
He was going to fly over.
He's from Chicago. And he said, "Hey."
So you didn't know they were sold out?
The tickets are sold out, man. You know, and he said a lot of people from Jamaica were trying to get tickets.
I can imagine.
I said, yeah.
I can imagine.
He said, yeah, and they're mad. I said, that's good.
I have to do 2 shows. Might have to do.
Okay, yeah, that is possible. That is possible.
Wow.
That is possible.
I'm saying I could fly to London for that. I could. Ladies and gentlemen, for all those people who are in London, I would normally say go get your tickets, but I'm going to say it this way. All you people in London, I feel you. I'm sorry. I don't want to tell you. If you already have your tickets, great. All right. For those
but if
people
you
who
have
don't,
one and you want to give it to G. Cole,
yes.
Yeah.
If you promise me you'll give me the ticket,
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Or like the song says, I'll be around.
Okay.
So that's what's on the horizon. Talk to the masses. Drop some social media. Where can they find you? You're on Facebook.
I'm Facebook, Instagram.
Right.
You know, and I've got the easiest email if you want to connect with me for music. You know, if you want to hear some of my new stuff, if you want to buy some of my records. If you, I've got an album. Clive would tell everybody called Stand Firm. There was a guy in England. He passed away about 5 years ago, and he said, "This album is the best album I've heard since Bob Marley's Catch a Fire."
Wow. What's the name of that album?
The album's called Stand Firm.
And it's available on iTunes right now?
No.
Okay.
It's only on vinyl. So if you're a collector,
I am.
it's the only way you can get it.
So I can get it in the US though, right?
No. You'll have to contact me.
So I got to go to, hey, I got 2 reasons to go to the UK.
I can mail it.
Because here's what I'm doing. Behind here, I got my turntable, right?
Yeah.
And once I get this replaced, what we're going to
stylus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to be doing a vinyl show.
Whoa.
Where we feature an album a month on vinyl.
Well, I'll tell you what.
So.
Just maybe, Clive might have a copy.
And on vinyl?
Yeah.
Clive?
And if
Clive's not trying to give up his copy.
No.
He got an extra copy?
Well, if he has an extra copy, it's yours.
I appreciate it. All right. I know a couple of burglars in New York, so you just send it.
But
all right, we'll get it.
It's easy if you want to buy a copy of the album.
Yes.
My email, you don't even have to write down my email address.
Right.
It's me
at
winstonfrancis.com.
Me at winstonfrancis.com.
I mean, you couldn't want it easier than that.
It does not. The easy on that is an app. You have to type anything in. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say this on behalf of the listeners, on behalf of myself, on behalf of all the fans of yours out there that's been following you all these years. I thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
It is all mine. Thanks for passing through, blessing us up. Thank you so much for the years of music, the catalog, and the new joints. Because I'm telling you that this song right here is my song.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. We got a lot of people on here. Leroy showing love. Clive's on here. Roy. So many people. Frida. Like I mentioned, my bad. Sorry, I know you're in the UK, but you're gonna have to stream it. You have to figure something else out. Nads, thank you so much. Bev. She says, and she's an hour away from London. All right.
Wow.
She's gonna miss that one.
Wow.
This is a lot of people right now that's a little upset, including that lady that Clyde took off the track and put somebody else on. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Right on.
I want to thank you all so much also for joining us, for sticking and staying with us.
Right.
It's been indeed a pleasure. This episode goes up on a podcast real soon. What day is today? Today is the 25th. Generally, we put up 2 episodes per month. It's going to be 3. All right.
Thank you so much.
No, my pleasure, because there's so many people across the globe that need to hear. And for those people who are always logged into the podcast, again, it's available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, wherever it is that you listen, we are there. Pleasure again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Mr. Cole, my namesake.
Billy Cole, G Cole. It's my uncle, all right? Don't question me. All right? Don't question me. It's my unks. All right? Keep it moving, keep it grooving. It is Homegrown. Frida, I'm sure there's a scalper or 2 outside the venue.
Is on fucking the road.
Somebody will sell you their ticket. Double price, but hey.
There's nowhere to go. Oh no, you made a choice. Now it's up to me.
Hope, thanks for joining us as always.
How gracefully